Hello, good morning. Or hello, good day. Catching you wherever you're at. How are you doing today? Let's just go up here, move that back there. Perfect. So good. Well, there we go. Now for real working. Love that. Well, how's it going? I slept in this morning, which was really nice. Usually I have to drive my husband at like 6 o'clock in the morning. But didn't have to today. He's got a work truck today, so that feels real nice. Feeling really good. And let me just journey on down here. Doreen, good morning. You are acing it. Just here's a shout out to you for being consistent. You set your mind to adding some yoga into your life, and here you are, morning after morning. When I started these back in March, I think I had three people who were trying to come in between 2 and 3 times a week. So it was kind of nice to see who had come in, and that was their goal, was this whole time to join in. And they did really good for a couple of weeks in a row, and they'd drop off and come back. And so shout out to any of them who come back or who rewatch. I know I used to do it in the evenings, and now that I switched to mornings, it might just be different. So shout out to all of those rewatchers as well. Shoot me a comment. Elisa, are you here too? Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Oh, so good. Oh, I'm so excited now. This is great. I've noticed that I just actually really love these. I miss them on the weekend, although I do get the honor of teaching live in a studio, like in person. So but that's still a different sensation. So anyways, good morning. This one I wanted to do as a Happy Hips class, as usual, Tuesdays and Thursdays are hips days, but I wanted to try to do a shorter one. I have yet to achieve a half an hour class, mostly because stuff like this happens and I get chatty at the beginning, and then I get excited and it feels good and I just keep going and going. So but that is my goal, is to be done in about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, because I know I've got a couple of moms who try to follow along and just struggle with the whole hour of undivided attention to a yoga class. So that's where we're going. That's how we're flying. If you have any pose requests, feel free to throw them in the comments. I might not get to them in this specific class, but can get to them as we go on. We got Janet here. Oh, Doreen. Oh, okay, sorry. Thought we had an extra comment, but it was everyone being excited. Okay, so good, so good. Well, let's jump on in, center in, start to feel connected. I just made a coffee. It's still a little hot, so maybe take a little sip of coffee as you start to settle in. Starting seating or laying down. I'm not going to start off with any laying down movements today. We'll just start from seated, if that changes how you'd like to settle in, but really just find a position that you can get comfortable in. I still love and value starting laying down. So if that's what you want, take it, or even starting standing or seated in a chair or on a little stool, anywhere where you can start to feel into the body, maybe become aware of your posture and some alignment. There's my dog crawling under the table. You're good? Good. Giving me sad eyes. Okay, thanks, puppy. Very encouraging. Yes, so she found her position she is comfortable in, so let's find ours. So even though I'm starting seated, you don't have to be cross-legged. You can extend your legs long. If that feels better, or even long and wider, or just bring a knee in. Oh, I do love the bring a knee in. My quads are tight, so this actually gives them a little bit of a stretch. And then as you're finding that position, let's take that nice inhale breath. Start to breathe in, maybe even get a little bit taller, even right here. And on that exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Even if you recline, just kind of tuck them back and start to soften. So still trying to keep that length we just created on that inhale, but try to relax through the body, keeping everything nice and soft and jelly. Just feeling those breaths move throughout the body. Let's take another inhale. Breathing in, maybe breathing a little bit deeper, a little bit bigger, maybe into the diaphragm, engaging through the abdomen, pressing that belly button outwards, and that exhale, softening, everything draws back in. Another nice big inhale, really breathing in. Maybe notice a little more length through the spine. Maybe notice the rib cage, finding some more space. Those intercostal muscles get a little stretch. And that exhale, everything softens. Real nice, real easy, so soft. If you like to set an intention for your class, go ahead and do so now. What brings you to your mat today? What are you hoping to get out of this time, this practice? Or what are you needing to let go of, perhaps? Just having a few different perspectives. Could just be a little word, a little phrase. And then start to really scan through the body, start to notice those areas of tension, send them a little love, even just a little awareness. Maybe even give them a little squeeze. My quads are killer tight. Hello, quads. I see you. Don't worry, I see you. You're acknowledged. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. Shoulders as well. Beautiful. And just finding all of those louder areas throughout our body just helps us, A, be aware of them and help the healing process. And then B, be mindful of them as we start to incorporate some movement. Not overdoing anything, but keeping the respect for our body throughout our whole practice. So one more big breath in. Nice inhale breath. Exhale, maybe even sigh out audibly. And let's start to wake up the body. A little wiggle into fingers. A wiggle into toes. Is that Donna? Good morning, Donna. A little roll of wrists. Maybe a little squeeze or wiggle of ankles if you're seated or laying down. You can get into the elbows. They often get forgotten. I love my elbows though. Let's take a nice inhale breath, reaching our arms up overhead. Nice big reach and stretch. Get a little bit taller. Feel that activation through the spine. Low back. So good. Exhale. Just let the hands go floppy jelly. We'll take one more of those. Nice inhale breath, reaching those arms up overhead. Nice and tall. Reach, reach, reach. If you're laying down, maybe activate through the legs, pointing through the toes. And bring it down. Let it feel really good. If you're laying down, start to make your way up to seated. If you're already in seated, I'm just going to start by rolling my shoulders back. Just taking some time. I feel like adding a little sway into it, kind of like some dance moves going on. I just got white girl dancing. That's all I'm known for. But it feels good on the shoulders to really draw as big of circles as you can. Starting to get some of that rotation, kind of like you're doing the backstroke. If you want that little bit more, I'm sure you could always add those arms in. Starting to get a little more in on the shoulders. You might even be noticing a little rotation through the spine. If you've got your arms going, you got just a little twist and a little twist happening. Excellent. Let's take a little moment, stop, and then we'll go the other way. So maybe you just start with the shoulders, moving forward. Then you're moving in on your front stroke. Just get the other way going. Notice, do you start to automatically hunch through the spine here? You can still do shoulder rolls with a nice straight spine, rolling forward, and you feel good. If you want that little more, maybe you start to add the arms in. Doreen, I've noticed you've been swimming a decent amount lately. You got a nice pool with your daughter. So hopefully this feels pretty good. A nice little warm up for you. Take just a few more. Warming up the arms this way. Excellent. Seems I'm clearly on a bit of a swimming metaphor here. We'll just keep that going for a little bit. So let's come to our stillness and take that little break. Let's exhale, draw the shoulders in. Inhale, open up, lift through the heart. Exhale, drawing the shoulders in. It's almost like a little seated cat-cow happening here, but you're really kind of accentuating, squeezing everything in and finding some openness here. If you want a little more, you can add the arms in, almost like a little bit of a breaststroke, not quite the same. Hands coming together. Make it yoga and bring the hands to heart. Focusing on bringing them out and bringing them in. Really, if you want more, you can squeeze, 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 bring those hands back. Feel how that opens through the shoulders. Don't worry, we'll do all these same moves on the hips. It's not just a shoulder class. Just finding that little movement and momentum. Take one or two more. Excellent. And bring hands to heart center. Sit nice and tall. Let's switch the feet. Opposite foot in front or on top. Just getting into that non-dominant side. Finding a little length. Take a nice inhale. Get nice and tall. Exhale, relax those shoulders. Inhale, let's sweep those arms up all the way. Bring them overhead. Coming to steeple, reach up so nice and tall. Exhale, engage the core. Be so nice and strong. Pressing into the legs. Let's tip over towards the left. Elbows can be relaxed for a little bit easier. If you want a little more, keep reaching, keep pulling, keep activating through those arms. Nice inhale. And exhale, maybe go just a touch deeper. Maybe you gaze up towards the ceiling, finding that little rotation, keeping that right shoulder nice and open. Let's come on back up. Reach it up. Exhale, right over towards the other side. Nice big reach. Elbows can be relaxed, or you can keep going. So good. Keep reaching. Maybe gaze goes up, opening through that top shoulder. Keep pressing into those legs. Nice inhale. And exhale, back up, hands to heart center. Relaxing through those shoulders. Reaching for opposite knee. Hand extends in front and starts to sweep around, coming into a nice twist, planting that hand back behind you. And take a nice inhale, breath. Lengthen, exhale. Start to twist maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe gently pressing into those hands to find that rotation. Maybe become aware of the legs and the hips. And then you start even there, trying to press hip forward, press hip back, and doing that same motion through the shoulders. Maybe you find tons more openness as you start to engage and thinking about more than just the spine rotating around, but engaging through the hips, the shoulders, maybe even the neck, looking over that back shoulder. One more nice deep breath. Then on that exhale, nice and slowly, starting to release back towards neutral. Take a nice inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Reach now for opposite knee, coming into the other side. Other hand extends out in front first and starts to open up. Starting to twist even here as you open, plant that hand down. Pressing into those fingertips, get a little taller. Take that exhale, twist a little deeper. And so even if your twist isn't super intense, even if you have a hard time maybe reaching for that knee, you can just keep your hands on your ankles or even stabilizing, really like wherever you want to plant the hands down works really good. And your twist can simply just be a couple of inches. Maybe you have a really tight back, or maybe you've got a really sore back. My mom broke one of her vertebrae, a little fracture in there. And so she learned how to adapt and modify to still kind of build strength and work some of the muscles through there, but being gentle on the spine. Maybe you really want to go for it, engaging into those legs. Imagine that opposite motion of left hip pressing forward, or hips pressing, shoulders pressing, neck rotating, looking over that back shoulder. Maybe steal a nice little cup of coffee. Take that nice inhale. And on the exhale, nice and slowly, and we'll start to release. Excellent. One more nice inhale, lift through the heart, nice and big. Take almost like that little back bend. Exhale. Start to round, relax, release. Come to neutral. And then let's extend the legs nice and long out in front of us. You can have, quads are so tight. Toes close together. Let me just back up a bit here, but I promise I'm not sitting against the wall. I'll work hard too. So you can have toes touching, maybe a little distance between the ankle. This is that traditional view of things, but I don't find that feels super nice on my hips because I've got all of that external rotation. So this feels great. Go ahead, hang out there. I also, when I was on my journey into fitness and I was a different shape, we'll just phrase it like that. I much prefer to have a little bit of space between my feet so that I would have space a little higher up. So if that works better for you, go ahead. And I still actually much prefer to have my feet a little bit farther apart. So as long as you're not super wide, because we'll get to super wide in a moment, somewhere in the middle-ish where you can make it work with your hips, with your sits bones, with your legs, with everything, letting it be good. So maybe even right here, just simply by sitting, you're noticing that you're probably working. So we're going to start to get into those hip flexors just by sitting up here. If this is becoming very torturous, move the hands either back behind you or alongside you. I've got short little hands, so I like just a touch back. That helps a little bit better. And you can just have a gentle little lean back. That does let go of a lot of the core work and really softens up through the hip flexors. So maybe you just take a little break and then you start to release the joint back in. And that's a nice way to find some length through the spine in this posture. So go ahead and give it a try. Bring those hands alongside. Maybe try to keep fingers pointing forward. Roll those shoulder blades nice and open. Take a big inhale. Exhale, engage through the core. Take a nice inhale, press into the hands, get a little taller. Exhale, keep that nice engagement, and then start to float the hands up. Maybe just resting them gently on the legs. Starting to feel that connection. Let's bring some attention to our feet now. So trying to keep those feet and those legs nice and active. The more muscles we get involved here, the easier it will be. So think of it as increasing the load that the body is using it. Same idea as if you're holding onto something with your hand. You can try this. This is kind of a fun thing. You can squeeze through the fingers, make a fist. So now you're just basically using the muscles in your hand. You might be using a little bit into your forearm. But if you squeeze harder, now you're squeezing more into the forearm. If you squeeze even harder, as hard as you almost possibly can, you'll feel the engagement go all the way through forearm, maybe into bicep, maybe even into tricep. Maybe even into shoulders. You keep squeezing. Feel how now it's not just fingers, although you're just squeezing your fingers together. Your focus is right here, but you have everything up to the shoulders starting to engage. And then relax, release. Feel that let go all the way through the arm. If you don't believe me, try it again. Have nice loose fingers and hold on to your arm, bicep and tricep. Start to add that little squeeze in. Squeeze a little more. Still probably not feeling much there. Start to squeeze a little more. Ooh, I got a little engagement through the bicep. Squeezing a little more. I got more through the bicep, now into tricep. Even more. Oh, it's so strong through there. And release. So it's that same idea when I talk about connective tissue and getting into your connective tissue of activating into the feet will actually help you with a forward fold, which is really kind of cool. And that's that same concept here. As we activate into our feet, we can have a little hinge from the hips because now legs are active, posture in front of the body is nice and active, all the way probably up through the back line of the head, attaching in at the eyebrows, so even your eyebrows can be active here, so don't furrow that brow. Try to keep it nice and relaxed, working through that. Anyways, that was from yoga teacher training. Actually, that was from an additional course that I took on connective tissue and muscle engagement. Anyways, fun stuff. So we're going to apply that to our feet. You feel that burn through the hip flexors as I just sit here and chat? You're just sitting here. We're just working hard. I think I even started to sweat a little. Yeah, I've started to sweat a little bit just sitting nice and tall with intention. So good. So let's take one nice inhale. Come on back to that nice straight spine. Exhale, let's start to curl the toes in, feeling that nice engagement, feeling that squeeze, not just through the toes. Can you start to activate into the quads, really squeezing my quads, I mean calves. Maybe even start to press out through the heels, activating the entirety of the leg. So I've got toes squeezing and I'm pressing my legs kind of down and out, getting a little taller there as well. And exhale, release, relax the legs. Perfect. Let's bring the toes nice and wide, kind of like you would monkey toes. I don't know if you can't quite see my toes, but have them just neutral and then widening them the best that I can, really trying to get equal space between them. But you always got a couple toes that are a little more flexible than the others. My big toe and my pinky toe are much more flexible than the three in the middle. Little friend toes, Neil calls them, just hanging out together. So keep that nice engagement. So we're working on opening now. And then let's start to engage through the heels. Keep those toes pointing up towards the ceiling through the heels. Maybe press the legs down again. Same motion happening here. Pressing the legs down and out or forward. Sitting up nice and tall. Oh, so good. Keep those toes nice and wide. And exhale, relax. Maybe even with those feet a little wiggle. So good. Excellent. All right, let's bend through the knees, planting through the feet, or just actually let's just roll on over into our all fours position. Just real quick. Planting the hands down. Take a nice inhale, start to look up. Take an exhale, start to round through the spine. One more nice inhale, looking up. Exhale. Nice, just quick little cat-cow, just working and releasing a little bit through that spine. Coming to neutral and tucking the toes under. We're just going to press right up into a downward dog. Just real quick on the knees today. It's just our transition into downward dog, which is our transition into standing. So really, however you want to come up to standing, go ahead and do so. I'm going to hang out in downward dog. Just a quick little stretch through the body here because I love this now. Look to the front of the mat. Hop, step, jump, or tiptoe into a nice forward fold. Taking a few moments and fold. Maybe you pedal out the knees or the feet. Starting to feel that nice connection through the back line of the legs. Maybe through that low back, you can really bend the knees, rest the body. My hamstrings and quads. I don't know why they've been so super tight. Just one of those things, I guess, hey? Beautiful. All right, one more breath here. Big inhale. Nice exhale. Let's inhale, coming up halfway. Bring the hands just above the knees. Press on in, get nice and tall. Extend the head so nice and long. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Quick little chair pose. Maybe hands come to heart or sweep all the way up. Press, press, press all the way up to standing. Reach it up. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Squeezing into the toes. Start to bring some of that awareness towards your feet. Just get an extra light on. Standing nice and tall. Let's work on just our mountain posture. Becoming so nice and aware of the feet and rocking into heels and toes. And then landing it, also trying to have equal weight between the heels, the balls of the feet, and being aware, having some pressure into the toes as well. Our toes help us balance. We might as well include them in. Let's journey on upwards. Knees, imagining them as dials. Imagine lifting the kneecaps. Notice how that brings just a gentle bend in towards the knees, and then as those little dials, just spin them outwards ever so slightly, kind of like you're getting external rotation at the hip, but that engages the sideline of the legs. So now we've got some power all the way from the ankle, the sides of the legs, and maybe into the quads. Let's pull those inner thighs up and in. Imagine like you jumped into an icy cold lake, that quick little, but then remembering to breathe and relax those shoulders down. But keep that engagement, so that engage through the core. Maybe you have a little tuck of the tailbone as well that happened there. And let's roll shoulders open, palms facing forward. Pressing into those feet, can you get a little taller? extending the crown of the head nice and tall. So here is our strong mountain pose, our active mountain pose, where we've got engagement all the way through the body. Let's take a nice inhale breath, breathing in. Exhale, engage. So good. And let's start to shift our weight towards our left foot. Right foot starts to maybe just come up onto toes. Maybe imagine holding on to something. Or if you need to have a little wall or a chair next to you for some balance help, that's always a great option as well. Feel free to adjust and move however you need to. Working on maybe bringing that foot all the way up. So I've got mine just to a nice little hover here. And I'm going to extend the leg. So I'm keeping my foot nice and low. I've got maybe just, I don't know, maybe a foot or two, not two, foot and a half off the ground. So just wherever you kick that leg out, maybe I'll come at just a touch of an angle. And standing in strong, foot comes out. Beautiful, that works good. So keep that core nice and engaged here. And some little standing hip work. So let's start to draw some little circles with that right leg. And starting to come around. Maybe even that toe touches the ground ever so slightly. Feel that engagement of that hip flexor. Keep that standing leg going. Let's stop. Let's go the other direction. Maybe you have a little point happening through your toes. If you've done dance, odds are you'll get that natural point hanging out here. And I have my hands on my hips here just to bring some awareness of trying to keep the hips a little bit square. So I'm just trying to not kind of rotate and dance around with my whole body as I do these, but standing still nice and still, leg just getting some movement. All right, let's find that stillness. Bring that foot in, give it a little break. Maybe you pedal or march it out. Excellent, come back into that stillness. Extend the leg. Starting now, just touching the toes down, have a little point through the foot, and bring foot up, maybe come a little bit higher. Bring it down. So we'll just do 5 of these, lifting the foot and lowering back down. So you can do it really little, or you can really try to work on that hip flexor and getting some height. Notice though, as you might be getting some height, you might be hunching forward into it to feel like you're getting that leg higher. So let's keep a nice flat back here, even if it just comes up a little bit. I've lost count, so I'm just gonna get one more in. Bring it down. Excellent, take that little pedal it out. So good. 2 more on this side, and then we'll switch to the other side here. And so planting into that left foot, right toes start to come up. Let's bend at the knee, and then work on just opening the knee. Keep those hips nice and square. Maybe you're holding on to something, and then bring that knee back in. So drawing that knee open. This one works better with me facing this way. Knee open, knee closed. This is handy because now my camera acts as a mirror. So I'm trying to keep 90 degrees at the foot. Let's see here, the foot kind of draws in. It doesn't really matter. That just adjusts things at the knee. The main goal is open and close in at that hip. Let's take one more and close in with control. Bring that foot down. Take that little pedal and march it out. How's that left leg feeling? Nice and strong still, hey? Beautiful. Let's just come into that traditional little quad stretch here, because we can work our hamstrings and our forward folds, but that quad sometimes gets left out. So pressing into that left foot, right foot starts to float up, but start to kick it backwards. Bring knee towards knee. Maybe that foot comes up a little more. Maybe use a towel or hand. Maybe you can reach down, grab onto the knee. I kind of have to grab my foot in a weird way first, and then I can set back in to this no-legged Janelle version. I'm just trying to gently bring my ankle towards my sits bones. If you want a little more, you can actively press the leg. Imagining bringing that knee down or actively pressing that foot into the hand. Just get a nice little bit of stretch. And let's release the foot without slingshotting. Bring it back down. Take one more little pedal out for the side. Excellent. Standing nice and tall and strong. Let me just come to the side here. Coming into that nice, strong mountain pose. Whole body's engaged. Imagine that jumping into the water and then remembering to breathe. Great way to Mula Bandha, which is the yoga term for pelvic floor. Everything kind of comes up and in. So nice and strong. Pressing into that right foot. Start to come up onto those right toes. Nice and strong through that standing leg. And then maybe foot comes up. And start to extend it forward, bringing it hovering off the ground. So even if it's nice and low, or you come up a little higher, doesn't matter. Let's get some nice circles happening here. So feel free to hang on to something, or imagine you are. Finding a point that isn't moving to focus in on, I think it's really helpful as you work on that balance. My challenge every morning is, can I put my leggings on with holding my leg up in the air? Some days it's super easy, and some days it's not. Some days one side is easy, and the other is harder. All right, let's stop and go the other way. I think I gave you a break in between on that standing leg. On the other side, so I'm sorry if you're just feeling it. Let's get a couple more in. Rotating around, you can have your hands on your hips for that awareness. And then bring that foot back in. March it out. How are those legs feeling? So good. Just some standing hip work, because we do a decent amount of reclined and seated and all fours, but here's a nice alternative. Coming in, standing nice and tall and strong again. Shifting the weight to that right side. Left foot comes out. Maybe you start toes just on the ground. Getting ready, engaging through that core. And start to lift the leg and lower it back down. This is my real tight side, so I don't get tons of height here. And that's a-okay. Just working with where it's at today. Your standing leg's got to work super hard to control that hip. We'll squeeze through the hip flexor. Excellent. I think one more for 5. Lower it back down. March it out. How are those feet doing? How are the arches? If you don't do a lot of footwork, all this standing stuff might actually really be pulling in through the feet. So take a moment, give them a nice wiggle. Standing nice and strong again. Getting ready, setting it up. Bring knee up this time. Excellent, nice and strong. And let's open the knee. Find a little moment, just hold here for a second and close the leg. Find some openness and close. Let's open and close. Moving through. I feel this loss on my standing leg as I come to open. I feel it on the side. I'm gonna take just one more and close. Bring that foot down and give it a little march out. So look, we're working on balance pose and some hip work all at the same time. So good. All right, last one is our little quad stretch on this side. So standing nice and strong as always. Finding that length and pressing into that right leg. Left foot starts to sweep back. Maybe you just simply hang out here, hands on hips, bringing that knee in. Maybe you grab something and lasso that foot. Maybe you reach back behind you, reaching on, and then try to stand up nice and tall and strong again. You can imagine holding onto that bar. Holding here for a couple of breaths. So good. If you want, you can actively pull that ankle in towards the seat, or just however you want to feel the stretch. This might not be the first time you've done this, so getting into it where you feel it best. If you're actively kicking that foot into the hand, creating that resistance, that nice pull sensation. All right, now let's release without slingshotting. Just letting go. Foot comes down. March it out. Oh, so good. the hips. I'm gonna stand towards the top of my mat. I'm gonna take a nice inhale, reaching it up. Oh, so nice and tall. Big reach, reach, reach. Exhale, sweeping the hands forward. Bring the hands onto the knees a little halfway. If you want, you can simply just bend the knees, coming into your forward fold. Or you can just tip the body over. Forward folding. This is my chance to get into hamstrings. So feeling that little pull. I'm going to add a little pulse in here. Just kind of lifting and lowering the torso. Feeling that little pull through the glutes, through the hamstrings. Nice little connection. Just some different ways to get into the muscles. Hope you like the challenge and the difference of it. It's not that traditional yoga, but it's still good stretches, good stabilizing, strengthening. I like the pulsing because I find the pulsing actually adds some more openness. And that's what research is showing as well. So you could just simply hold the stretch, which tells your brain it feels really good. So it's kind of hard to fight that and to shift that thinking about it. But as you pulse, you have that little release, and then you find that max. And even just doing this for a couple of seconds, I now feel like I can reach significantly lower than at the beginning when I first started these. All right. We'll journey on down to the ground. Take a nice inhale, a little halfway lift first. Roll those shoulders back and down. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, take a big step back. Press in, take a little downward dog, just real quick. And then drop the knees down. Swing around, rolling onto the back. Come on down. The price is right. Roll on back and down. Roll those shoulders in. Back and down and under. Knees planted. Feet pressing. Take an inhale, breath lengthen. Exhale. Press that low back in, little tuck of the pelvis. Just relaxing through everything. And let's hug those knees in towards the chest. Take that little massage on the low back. Oh, rock from side to side. Beautiful. I just feel like one more little hamstring thing, so I'm going to just come into a quick little waterfall, extending the feet up towards the ceiling, holding onto the backs of the legs. If you really like this, you could add the little pulse in as well. Same kind of motion as we were doing before, but this time it's the legs in control, not the torso. Excellent. One more. And then I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to reach on through the legs for the feet, grabbing on for a little happy baby. You can hold the back of the knees, the ankles, wherever you'd like. Take a nice inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale. Maybe you still take that little rock from side to side. Maybe we start to extend one leg long and the other. And then coming into a little freestyle portion. So if there's another pose or movement you'd love to take before settling into Shavasana, go ahead, play around. Maybe you want a little twist for finishing off with. Maybe you want a little bridge pose, a little back bend. Maybe you want a little cobbler pose, a little external rotation, a little inner thigh work. Whatever it is, let it be good. Let it feel good for you. It's not selfish. It's listening to your body, a little self-care. And it's freestyle. There's no rules, there's no report card. And then as you're ready, let's settle all it in to whatever your final position looks like. I have no rules for it. If you want that traditional corpse pose, you're welcome to take it. You can roll the shoulders back and down, palms open, or hands down. But I like to start palms open. That opens up through the shoulders. And then you can just rotate at the elbow, tap palms down, opposed to rotating in at the shoulder. Feeling that connection in with the breath. Let's take a nice big inhale. Breathing in, breathing into the lungs, the diaphragm, that abdomen area. Huge breath in. And on that exhale, let it go. 2 more nice big inhales. Breathing in, nice and big.
Huge breath, as big as you can, expanding so nice and big you couldn't possibly get any more air in. And exhale, nice and slowly letting it all go, feeling everything draw back in. Last giant breath here, huge, big inhale, breathing it in, feeling the lungs completely breathing into that abdomen space. Find all that extra space you could possibly breathe into. Breathe so big you're breathing into your toes. And exhale, just melt in towards your mat. Taking some time to really embrace your own Shavasana. This is where I'll leave you. You're welcome to stay in a nice reclined position. Maybe take a couple moments for some silence, for some breath work. If you're used to the hour-long class, take a full 15-minute Shavasana. Let it feel good. Find that softness, stillness, and it's a great way to actually just sit and let your body heal in that little bit of a rest state. So it's not quite sleeping, it's that just before where you're still aware of what's happening all around you, but your body is nice and relaxed and doing its thing. That is what Yoga Nidra is, which is a delightful practice, like a nice meditative yoga. So that's where we're at. I thank you so very much for joining me this morning for some morning yoga or rewatching whatever works best for your schedule. I absolutely love to be able to share my practice, and I look forward to seeing you or doing yoga with you again. Have a lovely rest of your day. May it be filled with moments of joy. May you always be blessed. Namaste.